Los Angeles is burning. The Palisades fire is currently rated at
5 big booms. Boom!
The Palisades in Malibu have burnt down due to 100-mile-an-hour hurricane-like winds.
Hurricane season was over.
The only people who didn't think hurricane season was over was the insurance companies, as they canceled their policies with homeowners all summer, leaving people with no policies to help them. And this is a sad state of affairs. Extremely sad. Yet influencers are still posting thirst traps in between GoFundMe links. Stop with the thirst traps. Your city is already thirsty for water. And it gets worse. People are literally throwing almond milk on fire, which is insanely ironic because of how much water it takes to actually grow that watery trail mix milk. We're 4 days away from Gary Vee saying this is good.
3 words to give me inspiration for any day I'm feeling down.
3 words.
3 words.
You're gonna die.
Celebrities are literally posting images of fires, and then the next photo of them is on private jets leaving the area with fire. It's weird. How did this happen, you may ask, other than ungodly powerful wind? Well, one of the reasons is they weren't able to put out the fires was the fact the city didn't have enough water or any water in the fire hydrants, which I think all of the city's cold plunges are to blame for this. And the conspiracy theories have begun because we all need a dose of schizophrenia to stay sane in these times. And they're worse than you expected. I'm not making fun of people losing their homes. This is sad. The worst imaginable event. I'm making fun of the leaders who left the people out to dry. That's a bad phrase, but not as bad as what Biden said 2 days after the fires.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Semi-Daily Night Show with Gary TV, your host, Gary.
Tonight's ceremonial first pitch. And please welcome the President of the United States.
We did it, Joe.
Just making sure you're paying attention.
Many California fire departments have stated they didn't have enough resources to fight the Palisades fire, and I wonder why.
Was the announcement of a huge donation of firefighting equipment donated by Bay Area fire departments headed for firefighters in Ukraine.
To be fair, if America wants to put out a fire, I wouldn't be surprised if we shot at it, and someone almost tried.
Chat, what if they, instead of putting retardant and hoping, why don't they just bomb the outer line? Like a line of bombs. Say, f it, we're trying a bunch of bombs, and you just
How we doing on fuel? Why don't
There's been a lot of backlash on the city of Los Angeles for not giving firefighters a chance to tackle the fire, leaving many residents horrifically losing their homes. Losing your home is not funny, no matter who you are. But let's focus on people who actually deserve to be made fun of for this, because in any national crisis, stupidity rises up quicker than federal aid.
You know, people are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't.
Newsom deflects better than the LA Kings goalie. Trump is criticizing you because you f***ed up and saved a fish called the smelt. That's a wild name for a fish of all animals. And the little annoying overpaid minions, newscasters, have been on the ground being even dumber than you expected. That's darker than I could have ever imagined. Anderson Cooper arrived. He didn't dress up. That's how he dresses because he's still scared of COVID.
And those water tanks ran dry. Part of the problem is a lot of people are using hoses, trying to understandably hose down their lawns, hoping that will stop the fire. A lot of firefighters will say that's not going to stop a fire like this from burning down your house. You may keep your lawn.
What the f*** are you talking about, Anderson Cooper? No one is watering their lawn. I'm surprised you couldn't see that because you have more pairs of glasses than a lesbian. And another person in the club of you don't hate them enough, David Muir, a journalist for ABC, used clothespins to make his fire jacket more form-fitting. We get it, dude. You go to Equinox. Despite the media being really annoying in all of this, they got to the bottom of who started the fires.
Why is there a fire happening right now?
There are multiple fires that are taking place.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in the news though. You're supposed to know.
Well, I don't know how it started. We don't know how it started. There, you know,
I think
winds.
it's all the gay people in LA.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
The conspiracy theories around the LA fires are worse than you thought. My favorite being underground tunnels. Yes, Illuminati coin. Oh my god, Jesus. Illuminati coin says there are tunnels underground LA for reptilians. The reptilians don't need to hide underground. They're in Calabasas in yoga pants buying $35 smoothies from Erewhon. They don't need to hide in tunnels. That, by the way, are close to San Andreas Fault, so who the f*** build tunnels? They can hide in public with face filler. You aren't connecting any dots. You're listening to the voices in your head and you need help.
These LA fires are not natural fires. They're being intentionally done just like Hawaii.
That tree is immediately above this car. How can those leaves not have been affected by flames big enough and strong enough to burn that car down? If the flames are big enough to burn the car, they're clearly big enough to touch that tree. Yet those leaves seem perfectly intact. It seems more like it was a targeted strike of sorts, just like in Hawaii, not a natural disaster.
Thanks, guy who lost a fight with a Sharpie. He is saying that fires are intentionally set because trees didn't burn. What the fuck? Trees are full of water. Fire can't burn water. So sometimes trees survive. And what do you mean not naturally done? You think Hank Hill is making these fires? He's busy selling
propane and propane accessories.
And we have high-level intellectuals like Juanita here saying these fires are a distraction. From what? We have troll farms on the internet making artificial arguments to distract you. They don't need to light all of LA on fire to distract anybody. Half of America is 5 glasses of wine deep off some sort of prescription medication every night watching home improvement shows. They don't need to do anything else to distract you. The way my mind works, f off. Your mind works like a schizophrenic, Juanita. Stop listening to the voices. But there are some good people asking why not pull water from the ocean and put it onto the fire as the Pacific Ocean is very close. A sophomore in high school stoned in the back of a Honda Civic, you may ask things like this. But salt rusts pipes and destroys soil, meaning nothing else could grow. We would look like Oklahoma. We live in an information age and Americans are avoiding Google like they do a low-calorie diet. Okay, who's next? Oh, god damn it, not this guy again. That's a controlled burn. You do that to prevent fires like these. If LA had prescribed burns, we wouldn't be in this mess. Are politicians to blame for the LA fires? California leadership is under scrutiny for a few decisions they have made that led to fires not being able to be put out quick enough.
What explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
Let me just say, first and foremost, my number one focus, and I think the focus of all of us here with one voice, is that we have to protect lives, we have to save lives, and we have to save homes. Rest assured that when
That is LA Mayor Karen Bass, who cut the LA Fire Department's budget by $17 million, which the fire chief has said impacted their response to this fire.
I want to be very, very clear. Yes, we took a $17 million budget cut. And as we know, any budget cut would negatively impact our ability to carry out our mission.
And with all this backlash, she has finally responded.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up, Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
This is Lori Lightfoot reincarnated. Before any of you say that's a race joke, it's not. It's a politician thing. Calm the down. And speaking of politicians, Newsom's state is literally burning and he went on a podcast. That is the most LA thing I have ever heard of.
This is an emergency. We can do all this dance and we have differences of opinion as it relates to all kinds of issues and values and, and that's fair game. I'm not interested in politicizing an event like this.
Not make it political. You arrived with flammable hair gel that could have probably started a bigger fire, and all you've done is criticize Trump for bringing up valuable points like forest management. The leaders of LA failed and the people lost their homes and left firefighters with barely any more resources to fight these fires more effectively. The city's fire hydrants literally didn't have enough water, so much so people had to throw almond milk on the flames. I'm sorry for laughing. That's insanely resourceful though. Every household in LA has at least 7 gallons of almond milk at all times. It's required by law. While the fires were happening, LA still went around ticketing people for street sweeping. You might actually all be evil reptilians, to be honest. You're probably asking, how does the richest state in America not have any water? Well, they buy it from the wonderful company, Wonderfully Evil. The company that owns the Palm Pomegranate Juice, Fiji Water, and Wonderful Pistachios. The billionaire owner is Stuart Resnick. His company uses more water than the whole city of LA. He owns a majority in the Kern Water Bank, a $75 million underground storage facility for the state's water that was developed by the state that stores 500 billion gallons of water. And conveniently, Stuart Resnick, a billionaire, has a history of donating to Gavin Newsom. He's even donated $250,000 to Newsom alone, and his corporation donated over $1 million to the DNC in the past couple of years. That's not shady. That's wonderful. But something that isn't wonderful, insurance companies. State Farm canceled hundreds of their policies in the Palisades home area to avoid financial failure. You are a financial failure. You generated $104 billion in 2023 and you were on the brink of financial failure? How is that not enough money? Your employees wear khakis, not Gucci.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis?
She sounds hideous.
Well, she's a guy, so...
There is a sad truth in these LA fires. People losing their homes is sad. From the Palisades to the people in the working class neighborhoods of Pasadena and Altadena. And I wish this was a conspiracy. It's more fun to say George Soros has
Frickin' laser beams
that are beaming down to start fires. But fire is more natural than a smoothie from Erewhon. It's a lot more fun to say these fires as real as the faces in Hollywood, but it's not reality. It's really sad. Runyon Canyon burned, which means annoying influencers that have Fiori discount codes will have no place to record content. Sorry. It's uncomfortable to see this, just as it's uncomfortable to say celebrities have advertised for the very companies that have pulled fire insurance, leaving people who actually deserve the sympathy of losing their generational homes in Malibu and Pasadena and Altadena. But sadly, this is a mix of Mother Nature and stupidity and leadership. Firefighters are some of the most highly trained people you can find, and no one is mad at them. Do not discredit any of the work they put in. They did what they could. And a lot of LA Fire has issues with how the departments ran. I've talked to a handful of them. This fire could have spread much further, and it should have, to places like Seattle. But that's besides the point. People have built homes in the hardest places to build a home, with tax rates higher than half the city is on a Friday night. So they expected their forests to be managed. They expected water to be in the hydrants and not in a billionaire's pockets. And they expected insurance companies that they paid for years to show up when they needed them. But like a pillow actress's father in Studio City, they left. People literally resorted to almond milk as a water source to throw on the fires because of how poorly the city managed their responses to the fires. It's truly sad, but if only there were signs before this to show how incompetent the city's leadership is.
Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.